Mike's up.
Hi, this is Thurman Jones, publisher with the North Dallas Gazette, hanging out with the Commish radio show, trying to learn what's going on in the community. Anybody that needs to know what's going on in the community, check out the Commish show.
7.
Judge Jenkins, that being said, you're trying to get all of these people out to vote. Why should we even vote for you?
Why should you vote for me? Well, you know, I hope you'll vote for me. I've got a track record of putting people first, trying to do the right thing. But we got work to do. I'm not satisfied with where we are on healthcare. You know, my office oversees the North Texas enrollment efforts. Now we've lost all of our Navigator grant money for North Texas. But that's so important to me that we get as many people coverage as we possibly can. You know, you mentioned my mom when we were off the air, or maybe while we were on the air, I'm not sure.
Go so quick these days, doesn't it?
But, you know, my mom was a single mom because I watched my dad suffer a fatal heart attack in front of me when I was 7 years old in the park in Oak Cliff. Now, his brother, his half-brother, worked for Southwestern Bell, the old phone company. He went in after he buried my dad. He got a checkup to find out if his heart had the same problem. It did. He had a bypass and a pacemaker put in. Lived another 43 years, long enough to meet his great-great-grandchildren. That's the importance of healthcare, and that's why I want to finish the job there. And we've got this election really is about whether we'll still have pre-existing condition coverage, whether we'll cover more people, or find a way to put more people back in the shadows on healthcare. And then I'm very concerned with where we're going as a country and how it affects my constituents as we continue to marginalize people. You know, we marginalize our Muslim brothers and sisters, and continue as a country to marginalize our black brothers and sisters. We've got SB 4 now that marginalizes Hispanics. And I'm tired of it from the standpoint of I understand they're doing it, but I'm ready to fight back. That's why I'm working so hard in this election and continue to fight back if reelected. Because I can't tell you, every weekend I have someone in tears talking to me about either they are dreamers or they're the parents of dreamers and worried about what's going to happen to their kids or themselves.
But you mentioned pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
It's somewhat funny that Republicans now are campaigning on pre-existing conditions.
Right.
They want to go ahead and be for something that they were against 2 years ago.
Their plan for pre-existing conditions says that you must cover pre-existing conditions, but you can charge what you would like to for that. Well, that's no different, Ed, than what the law has always been. So in Texas, back before we had Obamacare, and I like to call it Obamacare because my president passed that. But before we had that, we had the high risk pool. Sure, you could get coverage for a 50-year-old man with a pre-existing condition. Now, it cost you $4,500 8 years ago, a month, which no one could pay. But they had a product, but no one bought the product. And that's what the Republicans are talking about when they talk about pre-existing conditions. Their program would be to work with the insurance companies so that only healthy people would have insurance, and 4.5 million Texans would be without coverage, or they'd have to be so rich that they could afford to pay thousands and thousands a month for health coverage because of their pre-existing condition.
Now, you had mentioned as well, we dealt with the pre-existing conditions, and one of the things you had mentioned was getting the vote out. I want to stress out on getting the vote out in this Trump era of what we're dealing with now. And you talked about the polls, about what's going on at the polls and everything. What do you think of our political climate as the midterm bomber was captured yesterday? What do you think of that?
Well, on the one hand, I love these numbers of people turning to vote. I'm so proud of people for turning out to vote. You know, I don't like the hate that's in our climate. I tweeted last night before going to bed for candidates to hold their own people accountable, that this is not how you want to be elected. And for the voters to hold people accountable for these acts of intimidation and disrespect. But I've never really seen in Texas. Now I have seen in Mississippi and Florida, I've seen this sort of stuff before. Working voter protection for President Obama, and then actually saw it in working voter protection in 2004 for Senator Kerry in Florida. But I haven't really seen this in the urban areas of Texas, as far as like people going to the polls to shout vile things at people as they go in to vote, this parking of the fake police cars, all of these things.
And that was done by a constable.
That was done by one of the constables. I can't, it's a constable, it's a Republican constable in Mesquite, but I don't know which one it is, I'm sorry. You've got, in another polling place, you've got people that are holding up mug shots.
This is happening in Dallas County.
Yeah, holding up mug shots of one of the candidates, and saying that they're a criminal and telling lies about that person, saying that they've had been arrested and convicted multiple times for crimes that they hadn't committed. And it's a really cynical, aggressive, sad situation. And I hope it backfires on people. And I think, to a large extent, it will. People are smart, We're used to seeing these ads all over the place about how the opponent is a communist and a devil worshiper and an axe murderer and whatever it is, and people just don't believe this crazy stuff anymore. And so, I hope it backfires on folks, and I hope that it's be frank, as far as I know, it's all Republicans.
All right.
But I hope that the candidates, it's not enough just to say, oh yeah, well, I didn't have anything to do with that, I disavow that, or whatever. You got to talk to the people. There's not that many people at the polling places with your signs. So it's up to us as candidates to talk to the people that are working for us and say, treat your fellow human beings like you'd want to be treated. Don't treat people with disrespect and hate. It's within our ability as candidates to stop that, and I'm sad that doesn't appear to be happening.
But what does appear to be happening is that we have an election. Election date is Tuesday, November the 6th. And as we close, go ahead and give us a closing.
Well, the closing is, marches are great. Putting things on Instagram is great. But the most important thing you can do right now to help your country and to build a better America is to go out and vote. We need everybody to vote. If you can hear my voice and you're in Collin County and you say, hey, somehow I don't think my vote matters, your vote matters. Your vote matters certainly to Beto, but your vote also matters because, I always push for criminal justice reform. Well, the Court of Appeals is up for grabs. That'll be a very close race. You vote in that Court of Appeals, same as Dallas. We need you to get out and vote. Epicenter of the election is Dallas. There are more contested races in Dallas than anywhere else. Get out and vote. Make sure your voice is heard. I will tell you that the people who don't agree with you, they're out there in force doing everything they can to win this election. Be a part of this historic moment. Vote early, all the way through November 2nd. You can vote anywhere in the county. Or if you want to vote on election day, you've got to find your polling place. You can go to My Texas Votes and find out where your polling place is. But whenever you vote, please vote.
All right. That being said, I'm going to try to get him to go out and vote right now. You want to vote next week? Come on, man. Let's go vote today, man.
I would love to do it, but we got to do some media around reminding people and voting with kids. And I think the Republicans and others would be on me if I vote more than once.
Oh, well, we can't have that. But that being said, Commish Radio Show, we'd like to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in for the Commish Radio Show. We're about out of town and out of time. All right, Strip, let's go.